பலரும் என்டர்டெயின்மெண்ட்டாகவும் கலையாகவும் பார்க்குற இந்த சினிமாவை நீங்கள் தொழிலாக பார்க்கணுன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா? அதுக்கான வழி தெரியலையா? அது எப்படி பண்ணணும்னு உங்களுக்கு புரியலையா? உங்களுக்காகவே ஒரு உதவியாளரை நாங்கள் கொண்டு வரோம். சவுத் இந்தியன் சினிமா டைரக்டரி. இந்த புத்தகத்தில் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு சினிமா எப்படி எடுக்கணும், ஒரு சினிமாவோட பட்ஜெட் எப்படி ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணணும், ஒரு நடிகர்கள்ட்ட எப்படி போய் பேசணும், அணுகணும், எப்படி அவங்கள அக்ரிமெண்ட் போட வச்சு அந்த அக்ரிமெண்ட் பேசிஸ், ஃபினான்ஷியல் இஷ்யூஸ் எல்லாமே உங்களுக்கு தெரியணுன்னா இந்த சவுத் இந்தியன் சினிமா டைரக்டரியில் உங்களோட அனைத்து கேள்விக்கான பதிலும் இருக்கும். அதை சினிமா தொழில் இருக்கவங்க தான் ஆகணும்னு நீங்கள் நினச்சிங்கன்னா, நீங்கள் வேறு தொழில் இருக்கீங்களா, உங்களோட தொழிலை இதில் பிரபலப்படுத்தணுமா, எங்களோட வாசகர்கள் மூலியமாக உங்கள் தொழிலும் பெரிய லெவலுக்கு போகணுன்னா, உங்களோட தொழிலோட அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட்டையோ விளம்பரத்தையோ எங்களோட பதிவு செய்யணும்னு நினச்சிங்கன்னா, SICD இந்த புக்கை கீழே போய்ட்டுருக்க நம்பருக்கு ஸ்க்ரால் பண்ணி உங்கள் பேரை என்ரோல் பண்ணி இந்த புத்தகத்தை வாங்கிக்கோங்க. இந்த புத்தகம் எங்களோட 10 வருஷ உழைப்பில், எங்களோட 10 வருஷ அனுபவத்தில் இந்த புக்கை நாங்கள் தயாரிச்சிருக்கோம்.
Yes. Kailash ji, you are in a city called CHENNAI, please. And before you leave back from Chennai, one of the things that we want to take back with you, of course, you'll take back a lot of our love, affection. You'll take back chemistry, physics, biosciences, research panni, citations published panni, Nobel Prize vaangiye paathirkom. Ellarume paathirkom illaya? And our first presence this evening, please, a bouquet and a shawl presented to Dr. Kamal Haasan. Guest is God, Atithi Devo Bhava. May we also request Dr. Regina JPR to felicitate our guest, our chief guest for this evening. Nobel laureate Sri Kailash Satyarthi.
As much as possible to the colleges. I think today we could see a lot of college owners who have come, so to the most of the colleges he has come. But today is a special occasion that the movie which you have seen, so that is something which is very, very special, where many could see what is the hard work which he has undergone. So can we all give a big round of applause and welcome Shri Kailash Satyarthi ji to Chennai. Kamal Haasan sir needs no introduction, and I don't want to say something and get into trouble. Rather, I would welcome Shri Kamal Haasan sir, who will be a visionary leader which Tamil Nadu looking for. And any social causes comes, the first call I make to Dr. Regina Madam. So she was always kind enough to accept and support. I thank and I welcome Regina Madam. And there are many people who have come on this occasion, and there is an award which is also going to be happen. And I want to welcome Amuda Madam, who has been a big inspiration to many of us, and she has come all the way from Dehradun. And thank you so much, ma'am. I welcome you, and I welcome Kritika Udayanidhi Madam, who has been a good friend and been supporting a lot of environmental and social causes, and Dr. Manorama Madam, and Mike Muralidharan sir, and many have come here. I welcome each one of you and the media friends for all coming here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abdul. I think we can cut short the vote of thanks at the end, because most of it Abdul has covered this evening. As Abdul rightly said, this evening wouldn't have been so wonderful and so nice and so.
Here, I would not much take time. I'm really wow seeing that AV which was put up, and we have lots to do, and sir has struggled a lot to see where he is today, and we have to take an example in each one of our life to see that at least we save our environment, what is happening around us. This is what we are trying to educate a lot of people through our social service. And here we are now, we're going to inaugurate a very small community center in which we are going to educate our environment about how kids can be kept under our control of each schools. We can teach the kids who's good, who's bad, who's good touch, who's bad touch. So it is our duty of the schools and colleges to teach the kids how our surroundings and our communities should be there for this world. So we are going to inaugurate each community center in the schools possible, which is nearby, and in colleges, and in some apartments which we are going to tie up, and going to start community centers which will be open 24/7, where students of schools who find it difficult to go approach their parents, who are not able to let out things which is happening in their surroundings, can go into these community centers. There'll be a lot of seminars, lectures from a lot of psychologists, a lot of doctors, legal teams, who will be in intact with the community and telling them what and when the actions can be taken. So we're trying to set up toll-free centers also, where parents and kids can call up. Immediate actions will be taken by colleges or schools who are involved in these community centers. Thank you so much, sir. You've been an inspiration for us to start such activity, and with your blessings, I think it will be great. Thank you so much, sir.
2.5 days to introduce one of the world's biggest stars that we have known. He's been an actor, dancer, film director, screenwriter, producer, playback singer, lyricist, and now in a fresh new avatar also as a politician. From being a small boss in Kalattur Kannamma, today, as we all know, he is the big boss, if I may say, of Tamil Nadu. Padma Bhushan, Chevalier, our own Ulaganayagan, Dr. Kamal Haasan.
Kailasha, Mrs. Satyarthi, Regina Japiar, and the press and ladies and gentlemen who have come here to celebrate what we often complain about. We don't have leaders. Here's one. But unfortunately, because of the ills that ail our country, we need more such people for every vertical with the same dedication that he has gone about doing his duty. It's not a job, he's not paid for it, it's his duty, it's life's purpose. These are heroes we should celebrate. It is with the same tenacity of purpose that Mr. Satyarthi has embarked upon his call for duty that I have gone into politics. I have the same anger. I mean, the quality of opponents in no way is higher than the quality of opponents Mr. Satyarthi met in the circus. Only thing is, mine is a bigger circus. And I have dared to go into this only because of people like Mr. Satyarthi. He has egged on many people to emulate. I don't like inimitable, difficult act to follow. Great deeds should be imitable. And his great deed is imitable. It's not something you shrug your shoulder and say, well, this is beyond me. Great deeds is something that makes you feel guilty. If he can do it, I can do it. But why did I not think or do it? That guilt will drive us towards a better society. I'm very sure, like me, all of you in this auditorium were moved. There were no great background music, no sudden fast cuts, sweeping vistas for us to get, and not even beautiful dialogues to punctuate the emotion. Some of them, you couldn't even see the tears because the lighting was very natural and not lit to enhance or tear jerk. But by the end of your experience, you remember Sujit, you remember Kareem, and you can almost recognize Kareem's father by the look in the face. The DNA shows. I wouldn't need an ID, but the police would demand an ID. But you can see that it's father and son. And the steep climb that Mr. Satyarthi has achieved is as great as scaling Everest. For he has to work with something worse than gravity, which is the law itself going against his lawful activities, which is very difficult. I was curious to ask him many questions, but I wanted to see the film, so I didn't ask him so many. I will. And the difficulty of even conducting the raids is that you are moving with the hyenas to hunt, and you don't want anything dead, you want them alive, and it's very difficult and very dangerous. And as my friend Karthik said, many have invented stuff, calculated and conceived to get the Nobel Prize. But our hero here has taken beatings, insults, and has still managed to do what he wanted to do. And I thank the Nobel League for respecting a man who deserves it. And there's another thing, I've never regretted some of the chances I missed in movies. I truly regret not being able to finish Marudanayakam. But there was an opportunity for me to play Mr. Satyarthi. It was supposed to be made as a film. It didn't fructify. That I regret, because to play a true hero like him would have been a privilege. But I have the equal pleasure of telling my children and my party men that I rub shoulders with a man like Mr. Satyarthi today. We must continue to respect people. We have people like that. Please do not deify them. Look at his simplicity. He is not playing God. He's just playing man. And that's what we should emulate, and we should never ever forget to salute such deeds. And that is why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Today, in fact, one of the most important aspects of the movie is every movie is about acting. This movie, 90% of the movie was non-acting. It was true life-based, and some of the scenes that they had to recreate, we saw a great persona who was able to bring in all his emotions in the global fight against exploitation of children. Not caring even once about the life-threatening attacks that he has survived, Mr. Satyarthi has personally rescued tens of thousands of children from the scourge
which were translated by
Kamal Haasan ji. But one thing I can feel, I used to come to Tamil Nadu for many, many years. I have made some interventions in Shivakasi, Virudnagar area to rescue children from some industries, matchsticks, firecrackers, etc. But today I can say that I'm not alone. I have so many friends, so many sisters, so many brothers. People sitting on the dais and the people sitting in front of me. So if somebody is so rich, having so many influential friends, I refuse to accept that we cannot end child slavery. When I was receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, normally I'm not used to read. The Nobel Committee said that you have to send a written statement because it would be used for researches and so many other things. So I prepared some notes, but standing on the dais, I lost the papers. So everybody was nervous, king, queen of Norway, prime minister. And I was told that Nobel Peace acceptance speech is the second largest watched episode. And the first on the top is the FIFA Football World Cup final. So I was satisfied that I am standing on the second. But losing your papers, what would you do? I smiled. I was more comfortable. I remembered a story which I read in my childhood. Suddenly came to my mind. I told them there was a heavy fire broken out in jungle. All animals and birds were rushing out for a safer place, including King Lion. Then Lion noticed that there was a tiny hummingbird flying straight towards the fire. He was shocked. And he shouted, "What are you doing? Committing suicide?" The bird said, "No, sir. I am going to extinguish this fire because I was born and grew up in this jungle." Lion again shouted, "How come? How would you do it?" She answered, "Look at my beak. I am carrying a drop of water. I am carrying a drop of water and I am doing my bit. The rest is the history." I told those people, I told the whole world, 1 billion people watch it that day, which is live on CNN, BBC, and almost all channels in the world. I told that this is my story. This is my philosophy, this is my life. I never bothered, I never cared. I never invested, forget about money because I didn't have money after giving up my career as an electrical engineer. But I never invested one single minute to think that how my name or my face would appear in the media or somewhere the people know me. I never care, even now. But I have a very strong determination, I still have. I am not going to leave this land. And my land is not India. My land is Pakistan. My land is Nepal, my land is Bangladesh, my land is Africa, my land is America, my land is Asia, everywhere. This is the land which I belong to. And I am not going to leave this land without ending this scourge on the face of humankind. I am not going to take much of your time, but when I started, nobody was talking about this issue. India did not have any law against child labor. Most countries didn't. Even the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted by the General Assembly in 1989. I started in 1980-81. I refuse to accept that any child on the earth is born to work at the cost of freedom, childhood, education. No sin can be bigger than the denial of dreams of a child. I refuse to accept. But when I started, Gandhiji once said, and I remember always, that first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight with you, and one day you will win. But I have not yet won. When I learned from the President of India, I met him, Sumedha, and I went to meet him and greet him because he invited me, Pranab Mukherjee ji, at Rashtrapati Bhavan, to greet and congratulate. He was very emotional, Kamal Bhai. He said that it would be the first time in the land of 1.3 billion people that the Nobel Peace Prize medal or any Nobel medal would come to this land. It came back when Rabindranath Tagore ji got it 100 years ago, but it was stolen. The second medal came, but it was taken away by the great-grandchildren of C.V. Raman. So there is no medal lying on this land. So I thought that how come this medal belongs to Kailash Satyarthi? Since it is the only one in this country, it must belong to every Indian. So I wrote a letter to him. I said, "Dear President, I wanted to give it away to my nation, to India. Through you, you should accept it." He called me back. I went again to Rashtrapati Bhavan. He said, "Kailash ji, did you write this letter?" I said, "Yes." "Are you sure?" I said, "This is my handwriting, sir." He was sitting like that. He said that, "Do you know it never happened in the history of 100 years of Nobel Prize that anyone has ever given the medal to the nation, to the people of the country." I said, I'm not a saint. I'm not a great person. I'm a very, very ordinary Indian citizen. So I can dare to do it. He said, "No, it is not possible. There is no protocol." I said, "Okay, sir." I went back, and when I was bringing the medal, I thought that I will leave it to Rajghat at Mahatma Gandhi's place, because Gandhiji's name was nominated several times, but somehow he could not get. But when I came back, I got a call from Rashtrapati Bhavan, and then they informed that President has made a new protocol and he can receive this thing from me. So Sumedha ji and I went, my friends and my son and daughter. I gave it to him. And I cited कबीर दास। मेरा मुझ में कछु नहीं, जो कछु है सब तोड़, और तेरा तुझको सौंपते क्या लागत है मोर। It was not for the President of India, it was for the people of India. It was for you and you and you. Nothing is mine, nothing is mine. The children who are sold and bought like animals, and sometimes in lesser price than the animals, they are our children. When we are standing here for two hours watching the movie and talking, at least 16 children will go missing, might have gone missing. Their mothers must be crying. They are not going to celebrate any festival, any Christmas, any Eid, any Diwali, Dasara. They will keep on crying and waiting for their children if we are not able to restore them back. 16 children in these 2 hours. 8 children, young children, 3 months, 4 months, 8 months, 1 year, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. 8 children must be sexually abused somewhere in this land. This cannot be the face of New India. This cannot be New India. New India is possible when every child is safe, when every child is educated, when every child is happy, every child can dream. Only we can call New India. Dear friends, this evil this crime is a scourge on the face of humanity, but face of India. You can definitely contribute in wiping it out. First of all, you don't employ any domestic help. That is the first contribution. If you are going to meet a friend or relative, don't enjoy the hospitality of someone who is using a domestic girl as slave, as child laborer. Because every child is working at the cost of one adult job. Globally, 152 million children are working now, and 210 million adults are jobless. And there are studies which have proven that most of these jobless children belonging to those parents who don't find jobs for more than 100 days a year. This is a vicious circle we have to break. It's an economic issue, not just humanitarian issue. Raise your voice for education of our children. India is proud of having a demographic dividend of 40% of its population below the age of 18. We are all proud. But we spend less than, I repeat, we spend less than 4% of our GDP on our children's education, healthcare and protection combined. We have to change it. If we don't raise our voice, then it will go on. God has given you voice. God has given you mind. God has given you compassion. We can do it. I did my humble bit. I did whatever I can do. I have been able to bring this struggle, this fight up to a certain level. Not only in India, but I work in 144 countries for last more than 20 years. Almost everywhere. But if you trust in me, what I said before, I said that today I am not feeling alone here in Tamil Nadu, here in Chennai. I said that I have so many sisters and brothers and sons and daughters and friends today. New, absolutely new. But you have to take some responsibility in your own way. You don't take a cup of tea or a glass of water in those restaurants and dhabas if a child labor is working. If you come to know that if a child, a girl or a boy is sexually abused or raped, or abused in any manner, don't keep quiet. You have power in your fingers. Your telephones are the powerhouses now. You are spending so much time in these chats and WhatsApp and superficial things. Think of a child who may not come to you, but you can use your social media power in raising or becoming the voice of those children. I once again thank you, Rosina ji, my very good friend and someone like my son. He used to call, Ghani used to call me sir, but he used to call Sumedha ji as madam. And she scolded him today and she said that when Kailash ji openly keeps on saying that he loves you like son, then what would you call me? And he started calling him Mama ji, Mama. Where is Ghani? Thank you. So, dear friends,
in the World Fencing Championship 2019 at Hungary, and she's currently world rank number 44 in fencing. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Bhavani Devi.
Rajesh.